I heard a great case this morning. Marriage counselors report that 1 in 10 divorces are blamed on the in-laws. The couple I met today brought this issue into divorce court.
Divorce court is now in session.
Mr. and Mrs. Buford, the two of you have been married for 5 years. You do not want to be married anymore. You have 1 child between you, correct?
Yes.
But you also have children from previous relationships that do live with you. Mr. Buford, you say that you want out of this marriage so bad because at one point the arguments had gotten so deep that it sent you to jail.
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't you tell me about what happened and how you got put in the pokey?
Well, it started that Saturday. Earlier that week, I gave her my credit card to pay all my bills. So Saturday she came, she was asking me, for money to buy the kids something for Easter, which I never had a problem doing that. It ain't like they didn't have any clothes. So I told her I just paid my bills. Like, we go half on bills, but our personal bills, we pay our own.
Okay.
So I spent like maybe $700 on bills. So she came to me that Saturday asking me to buy clothes for the kids. So I told her, you have your money, why couldn't you do it? So Sunday came, she's asking that same question.
And I think it's important to note at this time there are 6 kids.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's 7 kids.
Yes, ma'am.
So there are a lot of children involved.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
go ahead.
Okay, so I told her, I said, I wanted to buy me something because I've been working 7 days a week. This particular weekend, I got that Sunday off to go to church.
Well, no.
Hang on, I'll get to you.
I got that Sunday off to go to church. So I went, got me a nice little button-up shirt, some nice jeans. So she come to me, she was like, oh, I see you buy you something, but you can't, do nothing help me with the kids. I'm like, you can have your money, why couldn't you do it? I buy them stuff all the time with no problem. So it got into more of arguing and stuff like that. All of a sudden, her family members come over. So now I'm outnumbered. I'm arguing with 3, 4 people.
4 people, it's
yes,
just
ma'am.
you.
Yes, ma'am. So I took it upon myself to call my family. So now it's even.
So y'all were gonna have a throwdown over the Easter outfits.
I'm sorry it had to get like that, but that's where my back was against the wall. I didn't know what to do. So next thing you know, she's outside, she done packed all the kids in the car with my stuff in it, which I don't even see how she did that. So I go outside, I'm trying to get them, I got the kids out of there, I'm trying to get the plates and stuff out of there. So she's sitting up there trying to fight with me about the car. I'm asking her, another one of her family members, can you please grab her so we don't get in anything. So next thing you know, the police pull up, they arrest me. They tell me I'm armed and dangerous. I don't know if somebody in her family called them or what, but they put me in the car instantly. I don't get to tell my side of the story. And now I'm in jail for nothing, and now I brought this paper to show that all the charges was dropped after the fact.
Let me see that. Now, Ms. Buford, why don't you tell me your version of that event? Because his sound horrible on your part.
Of course, yes. Well, actually, yeah, I did ask him. He did give me his credit card prior to me asking him Sunday about helping me, get the kids something for Easter. Like we do, we go half on everything, bills, kids, whatever. So he kind of ignored the question for a while. I kept asking him, kept ignoring me. Okay, so Sunday morning, like I said, I got up, I cooked my part of what I was cooking for that day, and I noticed he was in the room. We haven't discussed anything else about clothes, anything. So I'm thinking my kids will come.
Hang on, Mr. Buford.
My kids will come first because it's a tradition. As I was coming up, my mom made sure we had something nice going to church. It's Easter Sunday. We all gonna go to church looking nice. It's not gonna be I'm looking nice and my kids.
Yeah, now, I understand all that background. I want to know what happened with the car and why this guy got arrested.
What happened with the car? Yes, I was gonna take his car to the park. We was gonna go in his car.
Was his car already stocked with his belongings because he's trying to leave?
Well, actually, I don't know what he was trying to do because he was still in the room. He packed up all his stuff.
But was there stuff in his car?
Yes, it was.
You were causing trouble.
Exactly.
You knew he was about to go. You don't put a bunch of kids in a car when the guy's got the car packed up. You know he was about to roll. You're not a simple woman. You figured that out, and you wanted to start some stuff.
Well, why it had to be started?
That's a
I
good
don't
question.
know. I'm not you. We don't fight like that at my house.
Just because I get in your car, we got to argue and fight about the car. You wasn't going nowhere. Yeah, the car was packed. You was in there laying down.
No.
You wasn't going anywhere.
What were you fighting about?
We was fighting about the clothes. He had him something to wear, but couldn't help me get the kids
And
anything
you were
to
angry
wear.
with him when you took those kids and put them in the car with all his stuff.
Of course I
correct?
was angry with him. Of course, we had been arguing. Of course.
Now, mind you, Your Honor, it wasn't just her family member. There was an S on that came over
There
there.
were a whole bunch of family members.
Yes, ma'am.
And did your family members roll up on him
Exactly.
and
No.
engage in
Yes,
an
they
argument
did.
with him?
Yes,
No,
they
they
did.
didn't.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't. When my
That's why
family
I
member
called-
walked into the room, she just said, "What's going on? These kids are in the rooms." Her concern was more of the kids because it was loud, it was cursing, name calling, all of
Well, why
all of
weren't
that
you
stuff.
concerned about the kids?
I was.
But you were cursing and carrying on, though.
After I couldn't take it no more, because once I said something to him about the clothes, he just jumped up. "Oh, you don't tell me what to do with my money. That's what I work for." All you had to just say is, "No, I'm not gonna buy them." I didn't have to be called all the names, the B words, whatever.
I got what's going on.
When you call me out my name in front of our 5-year-old daughter, that's like the lowest degrading you can do to a mother.
Have you been living together for years but find that splitting up is as complicated as getting a divorce? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Mrs. Buford, you say, despite the sanitized version of the story that you told me, that you don't like the way he talks to you. Why don't you give me an example of some of the things he says and does that you find so disrespectful?
First of all, when you call me out my name in front of our 5-year-old daughter, that's like the lowest degrading you can do to a mother.
What kind of things does he call you? Give me first letters.
Petty H's, stupid B's.
Mr. Buford, do
ma'am.
you call her foul words in front of the children?
It's both of us. Like she says things and I say, so it's both of us. Like
So the answer is yes,
Yes, ma'am.
indeed.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to get each of you to own your own
Yes, ma'am.
angry and own your own nonsense.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am.
Who usually starts fussing?
Her.
Ms. Buford, is that true?
That's not true. I can ask a question, and if it's something that he feels like I shouldn't ask him, or it's just stupid to him, then I have to hear words like that.
Why would I just come off, somebody ask me a question, why would I just come off talking like that? That's not.
People do it all the time,
But that's
and
not-
they're usually in divorce court talking about how they didn't do it and why would
Yes,
they?
ma'am. You
You
right.
know what I'm
You
saying?
right.
You know
You
what
right.
I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
You say she is a habitual liar.
Yes, ma'am.
Explain that to me. Give me an example, some examples of when she doesn't tell the truth.
Well, for one, I could say she could come and say she wants to go to a club with a family member. She would tell me she's going to this club, but would actually be at this club. You know, I don't know if her family member's telling her to do that, but to me as a man, I'm an Aries, so I protect. You know, I'm protect my women too, or my woman. Excuse me. So
That might have been a Freudian slip, but we're going to let that go right now
ma'am.
and ask Mrs. Buford later if you spoke the truth.
But like I was saying, I protect them. So okay, what if something was to happen? She's here, but she told me she was going there.
I get that, but I was young once, and we'd start out at one club, end up someplace else just because that club wasn't happening.
Yes, ma'am.
And the music was better down the road.
So we have phones. I pay her phone bill sometimes, she pay mine. We have phones. You call and let me know.
She needs to call you and tell you exactly where she is at every point during an evening out?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, just like if it's 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you at a club, we in Jacksonville, you know, this stuff goes on at night. So if you call me, I'm at home with the kids, and you 11 o'clock, you told me you was going to this club, but I go there to see what's going on and you're not there, you know.
Why would you go to a club she said she was going to?
No, that's just if she called. I don't stalk or nothing like that. Because if she
Well,
asked
if
me,
she called and there was a problem, she would tell you where she was.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
don't see you making a problem out of nothing.
Nothing. If I'm the one you have the problem with, vent to me. I'm the only one can fix it. No other woman can. She just trying to find her way in.
If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Ms. Buford, you say you have a problem with the number of female friends that Mr. Buford has online.
I do.
Why don't you explain that to me?
So we'll go back to the women's.
You tripped up in that one. You just
Yeah,
fell right
he
on
did.
in it.
He
And then you're going to have
sure
to stroke
did.
hard to get out of there. But go ahead.
Right. You know, I just know that he's been, you know, conversating with different women, whether it's online or on the telephone.
What kind of conversations is he having?
Well, online it was just one lady was saying call her, and then there was another one had a sexy photo, and he commented on there with the word damn. And it's another one that he's been talking to on the phone that he's been venting to about our business, our marriage business, that I don't think is appropriate because I'm your wife. If I'm the one you have the problem with, vent to me. I'm the only one can fix it. No other woman can. She just trying to find her way in because she see that you going through it. You need somebody.
And she's going to be all comforting and loving and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff and kind of
Exactly.
ease you out and ease
and
her
that
in.
may not be his intention, maybe.
But it's hers.
It's hers. Are you leading something on?
Mr. Buford, why don't you respond to the allegations that you're having inappropriate conversations with other women?
no, ma'am.
So you didn't write damn on the sexy photo?
That's not. I don't think that's having a conversation. That's you know, like, dang. I didn't say anything. It's not like it's.
Are you asking women to call you?
Oh no. See,
Are you venting to other women about the complications in your present union?
On just certain situations, I don't vent. It was just one person in particular, an old friend, and it's not nothing like that. Like, I just talk about certain situations, but I'm aware of what, you know, how deceptive women could be. So I know she would use
Right.
that I'm going through this to try to do that. So, you know, I wouldn't, you know, expose too much to her to make her feel like she can come in like that.
Yeah. Do you see at all, for instance, if she were to call men that she knew and talk about your deficiencies or your problems, wouldn't you find that somewhat disrespectful and harmful to the union?
Yes, ma'am, but the thing about it is, I'm just honest enough to say it. She's not gonna admit to nothing like that.
So you believe she does do things like that?
Yes, ma'am, because I've seen it.
He's gonna believe it because he did it.
Okay. What have you seen?
She got plenty of male friends on that same things that she's saying, but I don't look into her stuff. She investigates my stuff. I don't investigate hers, so I don't know what she's saying or said or who,
But
you
at
know.
the same time, Your Honor, his family members on my page. He won't accept any of my friends or family on his page.
This was after
because he
the
don't
fact.
want nobody to know.
This was
or
after
see.
our argument. Of course I'm not going to
Since I
accept
had my
them.
page, day one, his family member has been on my page. So anything that I write
Or do his
can
family
be
knows
said.
about because he can see it.
Exactly.
Well, I don't see why. How could she accuse me? Because
Because she saw. She
But she-
investigated you.
So
she
that-
saw.
So I'm guilty for dang.
There's always a whole lot going on in divorce court that people want to talk about. If you have something you want to say, join us on Twitter at Divorce Court or jump on our Facebook page and see what everybody's talking about on there. Sometimes you people get heated. Don't miss it. I believe that the two of you live in a disassembled community. And when I say disassembled community, I mean a community where there are a whole bunch of folks in the marriage, and nothing that is incorrect or problematic between the two of you stays between the two of you. You guys are calling for backup. You guys are talking to other people about the problems that you have with one another. And it becomes a fight. It becomes an escalating war. It's like sending a couple of troops over there. Oh, and now she has to send a tank. Then you got F-15s flying over. And that's not how you resolve things.
Right.
If you don't want a war, what you do is the two of you sit down and have a conversation. And you got to have a conversation, both of you. And I don't know, I think you both have the ability to act fairly ignorant. I really do.
Our problem is, Gianna, we don't talk to each other. We talking at each other.
And I'm going to teach you something about that. There needs to be a designated place in your house. When something... One of the biggest problems people have in having a conversation is they believe that the most important part is saying something, when, in fact, the most important part is listening.
Right.
When you don't listen, it does a couple of things. One, you don't understand what she's saying because you can't hear her. And number two, you're telling her that what you have to say is not important, therefore you are not important, because I will not allow you to speak. Okay?
Yes,
So we got that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a designated place in your house. This is a place where you act reasonable. And if you have a problem, you stand up there, you hold each other's hand. I love you. I have a problem. Here's what it is. And you start out with, I feel like when you did A, B, and C. And then you stop. And then the other person says, here's what I hear you saying, that you feel like this when I did that. And then you say yes. And then you discuss the problem. There's no need to call in relatives. I mean, you're talking about Easter.
Yes.
Easter.
Sunrise Day.
You know, you getting ready to go to church to celebrate the fact that Jesus has risen and saved you from your sin, and you cussing one another out about Easter outfits.
Yes.
I mean, whoa, did you miss the point?
Right.
Don't live a life that is about ancillary things. Easter outfits are ancillary. What the family, the social media and all of that, that's ancillary. That's a whole lot of junior high crap that's being superimposed on what needs to be a completely adult relationship. So what I would do is to shut down that social media for a while. You don't need it. You know what I mean? Have a full union for yourselves that is to yourselves, and have rules about, I'm a man. There's no way in the world that I could take the woman who I chose to love, honor, and cherish forever and call her a B or an H or anything else. Because she is the best thing that I have, and I will not denigrate that. And I am man enough not to make my wife feel like the worst thing possible in my own home. Mrs. Buford, I ask you, don't get crazy and loud and let your emotions lead the way. I know you have a lot of kids. You're probably frustrated a lot of the time. You have to understand that you are frustrated and that you can get angry quickly. You need to, you know, I play tennis. I be belting that ball. I hurt people because I take my frustration out on something that can't, you know, in the appropriate place. Do Zumba, something.
I get it.
But come to him as a rational person, and you come to her as a good man, because all of this ancillary nonsense is not important. Nothing you told me here was important, except that you two don't know how to talk to one another. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
You feel that?
I feel you.
I'm going to have you leave here. I'm going to have you talk to my therapist, who is really good. Listen to her. She knows what she's talking about. And I want you two to make another run at making this work, because you got too many kids just to leave all out there in a chaotic, broken home. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I understand.
Do you feel me?
I feel you.
You going to pay attention to
Yes,
me?
ma'am.
This matter is adjourned. You know how you have church behavior and court behavior, places you go where you know you can't act up? Why don't you have a place in your house that's the same way? It has rules to it. When we're there, we don't curse. When we're there, we don't call each other names. So when we're there, we can actually have a conversation. Call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222